Good evening, everyone. I'll call the Planning Commission regular meeting for Tuesday, November 26th to order at approximately 7 o'clock. I'll thank SCTV for taping this, even though I can't see if you're taping it. I'm assuming you are. Bless you. Seating of alternates, let's see. We have, who isn't here? I'm drawing a blank. I think we've got Bob's not here, but he's an alternate. So I'm not going to seat anybody. We'll open the public hearing for application 1305. Hiram, do we need to read? We do, okay. I'll do my penance. Public hearing for application number 1305 of attorney Tom W. Fahey, agent for Dorset Crossing LLC owner, requesting reapproval of the subdivision, of the re-subdivision of the property located at 1507 Hot Meadow Street, map H04, block 403, lot 013A, 1515 Hot Meadow Street, map 104, block 403, lot 013, and 1519 Hot Meadow Street, map H04, block 403, lot 13B, as shown on the plan titled Re-Subdivision Plan prepared for Dorset Crossing LLC, Dorset Crossing Drive, Simsbury, Connecticut, dated 4/11/2012, revised 10/13/2013 for lots A through G, the roadways Dorset Crossing Drive and Castor Bridge Crossing, and the reconfigured parcel resulting from the conveyances to CL&P from the town of Simsbury and the applicant, zone PAD. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Thomas Fahey for the applicant. Principal of Dorset Crossing LLC, Tony Giorgio, is also here with me this evening. Just a couple of formalities. I did bring the certificate of posting of the sign, which I handed into the town planner. And do you have a full size for the record, or do you want me to give you another one? Basically, what I have here, just to identify it, is exactly the map that was approved by the commission. I think you have a reduced copy in your plan set there. And the approval letter of April 1st, 2013 is right on the plan. That's the thing. In fact, the plan, Mr. Fahey, you already signed it. But in the course of getting prepared for closings of Lot C and Lot B, we discovered that the actual Mylar of the map wasn't filed within the statutory time period of 90 days. And what we're trying to do here this evening, and that's why we have to have a public hearing, is to actually just reapprove what you've already approved. There are absolutely no changes to it. The conditions, all of the conditions that were imposed upon the subdivision with respect to roads, and utilities and the like have all been completed and signed off on by your town staff, town engineer, and in fact, the deeds to the roads and utility easements are all being held in escrow by Bob DiCrescenzo, the town attorney. And as soon as, if we were able to get your blessing this evening, we will have a new Mylar map prepared. Hope to have all our Mylars in the hands of the town staff Monday. The engineer is on vacation this week, but he'll be back Monday. And then once those are, the plan is once the Mylars are signed by town staff, the appropriate people will record them, and then along with them we'll record the deeds to the roads, Castor Bridge Crossing and Dorset Crossing Drive, the required utility easements, and the required conservation easement, and then we'll be able to go forward with, from the subdivision standpoint, with our contract buyers. We have a little work to do with the zoning commission as well in relation to the filing of the master plan, which we will be doing at the next zoning meeting. I really don't have any more than that. I've asked that all of our previous exhibits and all that be incorporated into this hearing, but the important point is there are really no changes to it than which you approved in April. Just because of the basically, we went through a very complicated and long delay in getting the land swap with the town and CLMP because of the DOT was less than expeditious in getting us the right of reverter released, which had to go through it. I don't know how many different offices to get approval, despite the fact that we had this agreement worked out with them. How long? At least a year ago, Tony. And, you know, the roundabout's all finished. Now everything's all done, right? And but unfortunately, that slipped by while we were focusing on the issues involving the land swap.
Hiram, anything to add?
No, I would agree. Certainly, the applicant's been very cooperative in terms of trying to make this land swap work out. I think, as you heard from the very beginning, it was a sort of a complicated process between the town, the developer, and the utilities. Nothing's really changed since that time. I think at some point, one of the commissioners said, if anything changes, will you bring it back to us? I said, absolutely. Well, nothing's changed from this process. But they do need the reapproval at this time so that they can file the map timely so that they can be put on the land records and they can move forward.
Okay, great. Do any other commissioners have any questions for the applicant?
You're seeking or approval of a newly submitted application, which is the same as the original application.
Correct.
Right? So does that mean that the original application expired?
Yes.
The application per se didn't expire,
No.
but what happened is that the time to file the map lapsed. And so in order, the town attorney's opinion is that in order for this to be made correct, a reapproval of that map is necessary. Then the map would be re-signed, assuming it's reapproved, redated, and be filed appropriately in the land records. As Tom said, Attorney Fahey said, that a couple other things would have to take place as well. There have been a couple of lots that are in the process of being sold to developers, and those have specific site plans that go with them as well. Those still have to go through the reapproval process as well for exactly the same that was previously approved. And that'll be taken up by the zoning commission at their next meeting, I believe, and possibly December 16th. So exactly the same as was previously approved, no changes. And should you decide to approve it, what I would suggest is that the motion be made such that the approval is worded exactly the same way as the previous approval was, with all the same conditions, so that nothing is different for anybody.
Okay, thank you. Any other commissioners have any other questions? Okay. I think we're all set. We have one other visual. I don't know if you wanted to say anything, sir? Make it sure. So I think we're all set. Hiram, would we have a copy of the motion, or can we just reference the motion?
You could just reference the motion that was previously made. It reapproved the re-subdivision plan, last dated 10/3/2013, Dorset Crossing LLC, as shown on a map submitted for this application. It suggests that it also say approved with the same conditions as were previously approved on the original approval. A little redundant there, I'm sorry.
Well, it is a re-subdivision of a reapproval.
I'll take. Just wanted to add that the legal call of the meeting that was published in the newspaper made it clear that all of the lots that are on this map, which would be lots A through F, as well as the roads, Castor Bridge Crossing, Dorset Crossing Drive, and Lot E on this is the open space, that all of those are included within the approval that you're doing tonight, which is exactly what you did before. But I just want to make sure so that the record is clear, because that's what we're getting when attorneys and lenders look at these things, they will always look to make sure, well, you're sure that includes this or that, so that's why we're going to the extent of making this specific legal call and referring to all of the lots that were in the subdivision.
Okay.
Just a quick point, Tom. It's actually, it goes from A through G.
A through G, excuse me.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Okay, would someone like to make a motion?
Hiram, you referenced the date of 10/3/2013?
That's the last revision date on the...
Oh, that's the last revision date on the drawing?
Yes, correct. Original date 4/11/12. Last revision date 10/3/13.
Do you happen to know what the original application number was?
Yes, 1305.
That was the original?
Oh, no, that's one you have tonight, the original one? Yeah, that's right on, should be right on the plan.
1301.
1301.
That was from the April timeframe. And I'll make a motion that we reapprove the re-subdivision application number 13-05 with the same conditions set forth in the approval that was originally granted to the first application for this subdivision or re-subdivision, 1301. Making note of the last revision of the drawing being considered dated 10/03/2013, which is exactly the same in content as the original drawing signed on April 11th, 2012 or 13? 12.
And could we add and revise 10/3/13 and lots A through G? Didn't you want the lots in there?
He did say 10/3, but A through G is
Okay.
correct.
I second the motion.
Okay. Discussion, comments, thoughts? Mark?
No, I have no problem.
Bill?
No further comments?
Okay. Okay, no discussion? Make sure. We have a motion on the floor, we have a second. All in favor of approving the application 1305 as presented?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen. Good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and contrary to popular belief, I decided to be quiet when the public hearing was in place, but I do want to apologize to all of you for a snafu that I'd like to blame a lot of people for, but we dropped the ball. We could have asked you for a simple extension, it would have been simply done, but we missed it. The complications regarding the land swap are legion, and it's behind us, and now we'll walk our way through and hopefully be at the same point by the end of the year. But I appreciate you taking the time on our behalf. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and thanks for being accountable. Good luck, guys. Have a good Thanksgiving.
You too.
Next order of business, policy on the Route 10 light post banners. I know the Board of Selectmen worked on this last night. Hiram?
Yeah,
I didn't respond to you by email.
I all have copies of this. I don't have much to add to what you have, other than the fact that there was just lots of discussion back and forth between how long the light post banners should be up and how they should be designed and who should pay for their being put up and taken down and so on. My understanding was that, and the Board of Selectmen may have adopted the way it was proposed. I'm not really certain about that, so I didn't see that. But there's really nothing much else to add, other than the fact that I explained to Design Review earlier this evening that the putting up the large banners over Hop Meadow and the one over Iron Horse are challenging. Certainly Ferg, who does the yeoman's amount of work for that one on Hop Meadow, knows that. The scheduling of these things is difficult. People come in a year or more ahead of time to get their dates and so on. So the whole juggling between the large banners has been a real challenge. Parks and Rec takes care of the one on Hop Meadow. We do in fact permit the one on the one on Iron Horse. but we do permit the one on Hob Meadow Street. But that involves getting insurance through DOT, making sure that they're happy with the requirements that each of those individuals has the proper insurance, that they've gone through the DOT process and so on. So the light post banners is kind of the tail wagging the dog here, that they're smaller, but there are 19 of them. And so the process to try to make sure that they're put up and taken down in a timely fashion, I think the maximum time period we recommended was 8 weeks, I think, that they be up for, so that they will come up and go down in a timely fashion. Parks and Rec Department would be the group that puts them up and takes them down. So that's the purpose of the $250. It takes somebody a good part of the day to do that. So that's what that was there for. So that's basically it. That was the proposal, to try to put some things that have been handled essentially very loosely, and try to put some sort of policy guidance in there just to make sure that everybody knows what page we're all on. DOT still has a significant say over what the banners look like and how much sponsorship, if you want to call it that, at the bottom is allowed, and that's DOT's call. We don't really have any control over that, so we just try to make sure that they're designed in accordance with what DOT has approved in the past, and then DOT can go forward in the future. So that's basically it.
Okay. Thank you, Hiram. Anybody have any questions, comments to add to that?
I've got, Hiram, under definitions, B, definitions, it says based in Simsbury, and I wonder if that would preclude, like, Gifts of Love, which is always, it does, and now, of course, they've just merged with the Community Farm, I guess, and so I don't know, but if there's something that's a good organization that the community's involved in, and if their office is in Simsbury, does that mean they can't hang banners?
I think what they're looking for is the connection with some group that's based in town. I don't know if they have to have an office that's based in town. Does it say that? I'm not sure it's worded that way.
It just says based in
Yeah, I
Simsbury.
think that the intent there was, and the interpretation when I talked to Jerry when we put this together, is that they have some connection to a group in town. We didn't necessarily want to see the Granby Rotary, as great as an organization as that might be, for example, to do it here in town. So I think that was the intent there. So.
Okay, and then on the second page, the comments of the staff, the first one should not be limited to town-sponsored events, and it says no. Does that mean, is that a double negative?
Yeah.
That's from the chamber?
Yeah, I'm not sure why Jerry wrote it that way. It should be limited to town-sponsored events, I think is how you need to read that, yep.
Yeah, okay.
It is confusing.
And then the last one, Main Street Board offered to administer banner approval, but they're not going to do that.
That's my understanding. It's
Yeah.
going to be, yeah.
Right.
Unless board changed it last night, and again, I would,
I don't believe they did.
okay. I think they pretty much accepted what our suggestions were, so.
Okay,
And Jerry did talk to the chamber and talked to Main Street and went
Yeah.
through that process.
Do you think on the applications for over Hot Meadow, do you think that Parks and Rec are going to start handling those too instead of your office?
No, I don't think so. As much as we've tried to get rid of it, I don't think we can do that. We said, as I keep telling people, I said, one of these days, Ferg, who has done the significant amount of work putting those things up, is going to get tired or say, gee, it's rainy today, I'd rather stay inside and put my feet up by the fire and have a Pepsi or something.
Well, the next storm will take the poles down, and we won't have to worry about it.
Could well be, but I know people really appreciate that. They don't know it, but they really got to appreciate it. So it's a coordination effort. We're just trying to put some sort of semblance of sanity into the process.
Yeah. Okay. Any more discussion on that? Okay. Communications administrative business, Hiram?
No, there are a couple of things. I think we emailed or faxed you, Mike. There were some administrative revisions to a couple of cell towers in town, to be honest with you, from the siting council. There's really, because they're just simply additions, they're not new towers, and they're not significantly changing them at all. There's really nothing we can do about it. We've talked about trying to get cell towers in certain areas of town that have not good cell reception, but so far we have nothing on that. So other than that, there's really been nothing else that's come in.
Okay, thank you. Next.
Mike, sorry, can we go back to the proposed policy for the banners. Do we need to make a referral or anything?
No, they basically, Board of Selectmen acted on it last night, as I understand it, Bill, so there's nothing else you need to do. Now, if you've got something that really is bad or you think is terrible, let me know, and I'm happy to take it to them. They could reconsider it.
And actually, last night, Hiram, they approved a draft, so it's not the final document yet. Sorry.
Okay. It's all
But I
right.
have a feeling that next week that may be looked at differently. Okay, the communications is done, election of officers, it's our second notice. I guess the first order should be, do people feel the need to caucus individually and take a recess to do that? Or are they comfortable voting on this now? And I would merely offer that, because I missed the last meeting, my apologies. Okay. If people are comfortable, that's fine. Just want to put it out there. So, would someone like to make a motion?
Maybe we should caucus.
Sounds like maybe we should. Okay, why don't we, if we don't have a motion, then let's take a 5-minute recess, and we'll caucus, the parties will caucus, and then we'll meet back here. And do we want to amend our agenda to approve our minutes prior to our caucus, or just do it when we come back?
Yeah, I move that we amend the agenda and do the minutes.
Okay,
Second.
we have a motion, we have a second, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. These are the minutes. Sure. I'll turn over to the secretary.
Sure. Reviewing the planning commission minutes for November 12th, 2013. Do we have any changes on page 1?
Nope.
Any changes on page 2? Hearing no changes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the planning commission minutes for November 12th, 2013.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to abstain because I was not here.
I'll abstain also, I wasn't here. But 4 people were, so we're all set.
Thank you.
Okay, at this point, we'll take a 5-minute recess, so the various groups can caucus, and we'll meet back here at just before 7:30, 7:28 or so. Great, thanks, everybody.